Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching. It is the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. Friday Night Live. Going to be on here briefly talking about a couple of things. First of all, Deputy Clyde Kerr. For those that don't know, Deputy Kerr was from Louisiana and he took his own life. And I was planning on playing part of a video he left behind with his final words on it, and I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to put the link to that video in the description. I'll go back and edit it in the description after the live's over, so you can go see for yourself. And I was planning on playing the video and answering a question that a viewer had sent, and it was the question was, why is this not getting mainstream media attention? And if you go and watch the video, you'll see why. It's because this isn't a message that benefits the powers that be. This is a message to the people. And I'm not playing it simply because I can't get through it. That's the reason I'm not. Well, that's one of the reasons that I'm not playing. The other one is I'm not going to play YouTube videos very often anymore because of copyright violations. And that's not the intent of this program ever, is to violate anybody's copyright. It's to help spread information. So I'll have the link in the description. I just couldn't watch it, and I couldn't sit through it as part of the live. I lost somebody. I lost a really good friend yesterday, a guy named Jay Ammerman, and Jay was one of those people that might be one of the best people you ever meet. He hated no one, loved everyone. Never, I mean, he's one of these storybook kind of people. And when I found out yesterday that he had passed away, it kind of engulfed me, because this past year, it's been almost a year since a good friend of mine, Jim, was one of the first in Indiana to pass away from COVID virus. And then my cousin Steve, my first cousin, born on the same day, passed away. And then those of you that watch the show know that I lost Kay. And it just all kind of started piling up in waves upon me yesterday. So I didn't do a show yesterday, and I apologize to you viewers that normally look forward to Thursday when I do videos, and the videos I was going to do. Pardon me. Pardon me. This may not be a very long video after all. Mercy. I do deeply apologize. This is definitely live, or you would not have been seeing that. Sometimes things pile up on us, and for a long time, I would not have done what I did yesterday and today, which is just sit back and kind of deal with things. I would have put it away, and it would have come out at some other time. And I've kind of learned from that to try to deal with things as they come on and acknowledge that they're real. And all of us have anxiety at times. All of us have depression at times. All of us have things that we deal with at times. And it's It's okay to not be okay at times. All right, it happens, and it's okay. We shouldn't try to deny our feelings or our emotions. And again, that video, the link to that video, I'll put into the description. And that leads us to March the 4th, which is the other topic of the live tonight. March the 4th is the day that the President of the United States was sworn into office in the past, up until it was changed in 1933. In 1937, the first president was inaugurated on January 20th instead of March the 4th. The reason March the 4th, much like we've talked about throughout the whole election process, everything was formalized back when people were riding horses from city to city, town to town, farm to farm. And so there had to be adequate time. So from November, when the election is held, it went all the way to March before the president was actually sworn in. That left an extremely long time of what is known as a lame duck period. That's a period when you've been voted out of office, but you're still in office, and it's a time period when your ethics are tested, because you can still do a lot of things while you're in office. And at any rate, March the 4th used to be, up until 1933 again, the time when the president was actually sworn in, because of the time it took for officials to all travel from wherever they may be to get to the Capitol in Washington, D.C. Now, it no longer takes anywhere near the time that it took in 1933, let alone when the system was put in place. So that is why we have the inauguration of the president on the 20th instead of on March the 4th, as it was up until, again, 1933 was the last inauguration. The first to take place January 20th would have been the 1937 inauguration of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Which brings us to March the 4th of this year. And why? QAnon. QAnon. If you haven't heard of QAnon, what is QAnon? Q began posting on anonymous internet web boards in October of 2017. It was just the capital letter Q with parentheses. And the person behind Q claims to have the absolute most top level security clearance and intimate knowledge of a giant worldwide criminal conspiracy. Now, anybody can claim anything on the internet. Somehow, people took this person seriously. If I had to analyze and surmise who I thought this cute person is, I'm going to say it's a 58-year-old bald white man with glasses, slightly overweight, either never been loved or lost the love of his life, possibly his wife, possibly in a car accident, but had some kind of deep trauma, and got online and decided I'm just going to put some stuff out there. And the lies started coming. He put out some posts, and the posts are called breadcrumbs. The posts from Q are called breadcrumbs, and they're cryptic and they're open for interpretation. And And that's how this all got started. Now, obviously, it's not just a wild internet conspiracy theory organization. Things have happened in real life that QAnon have at least been partially responsible for, including the January 6th, White Wednesday, as we call it on this show, the riot at the United States Capitol. And I imagine how it started was this Q person put something out there, and somebody questioned it, and the lie started. The lie was, well, I've got top secret security clearance. I'm the same thing as a double knot spy, like Jethro Bodine on the Beverly Hillbillies, for those of you old enough to know that reference. And then it was, oh yeah, really, yeah. And you know what? There's a worldwide criminal conspiracy. Now, I'm not saying there could not be some kind of worldwide criminal thing going on. If there is, it's going to be about money. More than likely, it's not going to be about vampires. Okay. And as I said, this Q person had been dropping these things, and it had just enough actual reference that referenced a certain report or something like that people could just start spinning into infinity these holes, the rabbit holes into the earth, and fall down into them and lose total touch with reality. And that's what's happened to a lot of people. Now, most, including myself, thought that when Joe Biden was inaugurated and was actually installed as president, and we actually had a line of secession from Joe Biden formally down constitutionally, that the QAnon conspiracy would go away, because once again, something they had said was going to happen did not happen. Okay. Well, they did not go away. Some of them have come out and explained, why they did what they did and why they believed what they believe. But a lot of them are still believers. And March the 4th has a significant meaning to them. Okay. Now, they believe that on March the 4th, Donald Trump is going to be inaugurated as the 19th president of the United States. Okay. Let me repeat that. They believe that on March the 4th, somehow Donald Trump is going to be inaugurated as the 19th president. Now, he's already been the 45th president. So that in and of itself should tip off the logic in most people that maybe there's not a lot of truth in this, but it doesn't. It doesn't. They have spun this into that no president has been a legitimate president since Ulysses S. Grant, the 18th president. And back in Grant's time, there were two greedy bastards that tried to corner the gold market, and that led to a big scandal. And eventually, from that point forward, it led to the United States getting off of the gold standard to value our dollar, and somehow, in their eyes, has delegitimized everything all the way back to Ulysses S. Grant. So Donald Trump will be inaugurated on the 4th of March as the 19th president of the United States, and the first legitimate president since Ulysses S. Grant. And if I've got any of this wrong, this will get back to somebody in QAnon. And if I've got any of this wrong, I'm sure they will tell me about it, and I will subsequently tell you what they've told me, if not show you what they've told me. And how this is all supposed to happen is because something is supposed to happen called the storm. And not certain if the storm is supernatural or if the storm is going to be an uprising of the Q followers that somehow have been given this knowledge by Q to do the pure and in their minds the pure and holy thing for this country that they so love, and it's delusional, and it's dangerous, and we do not know how many of them are out there, but it's more than a dozen or so. Now, how many are going to be active? How many are going to actually get off the keyboard and actually do something on March the 4th? We don't know that yet, but we need to be aware of it, and I hope the federal government's aware of it. I want to touch on one other brief subject here. Q began posting on something called 4chan and 8chan, and these were encrypted posts. They were anonymous, and thus from Q anonymous shortened to QAnon, and everyone, just like Angry Viking, people started having angry nicknames, angry airline pilot wife, whatever. Q followers started calling QAnon, and there are members of Congress that are subscribers of QAnon. There are, and that may be why they are so confident that they can act and say any way they want, as we have seen by a certain female congressperson that was stripped of all committee posts because of things they say and things they believe. Q, the actual Q, has not posted since December. That's going on 3 months ago. Now, the reason Q hasn't posted is because the FBI has determined QAnon as domestic terrorism, and they will find out who this Q person is, and it will be unveiled soon. It'll be interesting to see how close I was to my analysis. But the fact that Q has not dropped a breadcrumb, if you will, Q has not made any posts, no matter how cryptic or how out there it might be, since December, it hasn't stopped them. And again, the focus on this date of March the 4th. And I wanted to read something here. They come to their conclusion first. Okay, they decide what makes them feel best, and then they construct conspiracy theories that help them convince themselves that what they are going to do will be best. All right, if that makes sense, that their minds are working backwards, if you will. And they try to figure out what is true and what is not. And as a consequence, sometimes have to face harsh truths, such as the electoral victory of Joe Biden. However, many and almost all of the diehards still reject that. 37%, this is the statistic I was looking for, 37% said they didn't know whether the baseless allegations coming from Q are true or not, and they don't care. But it's not like it's stupid people. Okay, it's not like it's uneducated people. These are people that, again, they're, especially when they use the Save the Children, when they stole the Save the Children thing, that Tom Hanks was going to kidnap your baby, um, and I'm not saying that to draw laughter. That was one of the accusations. Um, if you're not getting any satisfaction in any other way from your government or community, then QAnon can fulfill that role. All right. Now, the last thing I want to say about this, then I'm going to go over and um, see if there are any questions or comments or anything before we call it a night. Um, how serious is this? How serious is it potentially that something's going to happen on March the 4th? I've got a video that was sent to me a while back referencing March the 4th. I'm going to dig it up and I'm going to be playing it sometime here very soon. I had information on what was going to potentially happen on the 6th of January. I put that information out, started about 2 weeks before it happened. I'm 70% confident that nothing will happen on March the 4th, but I'm 30% with there are too many crazy people for me not to think something could not happen. And of course, this is all just giving you something to think about. It's not telling you how to behave, act, or anything like that. It's up to you to judge. But I'm going to be talking about QAnon going forward as we get towards March 4th. I don't have that same kind of information that I felt was legitimate. I don't have that about March 4th as I did about January 6th. I'm just putting pieces together at the moment. One piece that I would like to put together for you right now, on January 5th and 6th, when Trump had said, we're going to have a wild party on January 6th, they raised the rates at Trump International in Washington, D.C. for those 2 days specifically. They have raised the rates for March the 4th already. Trump said in his last speech, the best is yet to come. He's in on this. I don't know if Q is one of his minions and has been since the inception back in 2017, like Goebbels was, a minister of propaganda in the Nazi regime. Or if it's just, like I said, some guy sitting in some basement that is so tortured by some traumatic event that he's just perpetuating evil. But whatever case, it is a potential danger to our country, in my opinion. It's just a matter of how severe. And we'll talk about that as we get towards March 4th. So over to the comments. Sissy McLeod. Hi, Sissy. Thank you so much for everything you do. You first comment that popped up, I say it's bullshit and dangerous for sure. It is bullshit. It is dangerous for sure. But we can't ignore it. We've got to look for people that are following it. And gosh, I don't know what we do when we find them. There's no national registry where, but what I am doing is, and you can spot them pretty easily. All you have to do is go to a live feed online of impeachment by any media, and you'll start seeing, I want Trump as my king, and we are going to install Trump as our king, and all this stuff. You just click on the name, you find out, where they're from, and write it down, and one of the Q people. If enough of us did that, we might be able to marginalize them. We might be able to find out how many are out there. But anyway, it's insane It's insane that our country is at this place. And it's insane that one of the people responsible for getting us in this place is people want to install us king. And I'm pretty sure we fought a war. I wasn't there, but back a few hundred years ago, we fought a war to make sure we weren't governed by a king. Now, we didn't do things right when we won our independence. It was only independence for white male landowners originally, but that's a totally different subject. Angry Knuckles, how are you, Knuckles? I know you're a Trump supporter, my man, and that's cool. I'm not gonna slam you for it. Okay, all right. Knuckles is not into the Q stuff anymore and doesn't think Trump's involved, and I'll respect that. Joni, keep up the good work, brother. Well, thank you, my man. This isn't, I also do a thing, and I've got the camera angle down specifically so that it's not shown, but I started a movement called EAR, End All Racism. So this is not a black white thing. Okay, this is a human thing that we try to do on this show, and I appreciate you watching. Puffin, I'm going to jump up and catch one of your comments. Will they round up all of them or leave some of them to us? I'm not sure I'm not sure what Q has planned as far as rounding up people. That is part of the thing, this swarm. And when the swarm happens on March the 4th, Hillary Clinton, of course, is the main first person ever listed. John Podesta, John Kerry, I don't know. It goes all the way. Like I said, Tom Hanks is supposedly involved in this. A lot of Hollywood people involved in a giant pedophile ring where they drain the blood from babies and drink the blood to stay youthful or something. It's don't be a doofus, okay? Even Viking is telling people not to listen to Q because it all bull. Oh, good on Viking. Good on Viking. Hey, Knuckles, man, I've already told you we're going to have you back on the show here soon. Back on the American Doofus show. I'd love to have a conversation with Angry Viking, either here or on his show. So let him know that, and well, I tried to reach out to him, and all it did was get me on a merchandise email list. So, hey, what are you going to do? I do want to thank you. I want to thank you all that are watching now and those that are watching later. I thank you for allowing me to do this, for giving me a platform to talk about things that other people aren't always talking about. And again, we're using this platform once a week for EAR, End All Racism. And we're going to be doing that coming up on Wednesdays. This past episode was about the present, and we talked about some uncomfortable things, but that's what we need to talk about in order to get past uncomfortable things and move forward. And that's what the next episode's about. It's the last of a 3-part series that we've begun the EAR with, and we're building this. And we began with the history of race, and Starr did an absolutely remarkable job in the history of race in condensing centuries into a understandable and relatable and accessible 1 hour period. And then we had Kenmetta King and Star and myself on this past Wednesday, and we talked a little bit about where we are right now as far as race in the world. And then this coming Wednesday, we're going to talk about the future, what the future might hold, and how we might get there. And I'd really like to have a younger person on with us. I'd like to have a teenager on. So if you happen to know a teenager that's interested in unity and replacing hate with love, have them reach out to me, americandoofus@gmail.com, and we'll see about making them part of the panel for EAR on Wednesday. Now, I've already said Knuckles is coming back on the program. Someone else emailed me wanting to be on the program, and I've misplaced the email somehow. But I've got another email from you, and just so you know who you are, I know who you are, and we will get you on. You said you wanted to be on a panel, and we'll get you on the next panel, my man. And I look forward to it. T-Rex, Crispus Attucks. Actually, there's a high school in Indianapolis, Crispus Attucks High School, named after Crispus Attucks. And Crispus Attucks was a black man, and if not, he was one of, if not the first person killed in a fight with the British in the American Revolution, and as is often the case, is often overlooked. But yeah. T-Rex, I knew who Crispus Attucks was. We're going to get shirts. We're going to get the EAR shirts coming soon. We had a little glitch in things, but we are. It's coming, and I'm so honored to be working with the people we're working with, and if we can get some of the stuff going that we've got planned, it's. We're going to make a little tiny difference, and it's not going to replace anything. It's not meant to replace anything. It's to be in addition to. But there's a potential, and it's real simple. How do we end all racism? Well, you join this group. You join this movement. If you're part of this movement to end all racism, then you're behind ending all racism. The people that aren't part of this movement, we start marginalizing because we know they want to keep racism going. It could be that simple. I'm going to get off here, and I thank you all again. Thank you all for watching. I'm not sure if I'm going to be on tomorrow or not. I will be on Sunday Night Live with the weekly wrap, and then a Monday episode. And then Tuesdays are going to be Open Forum Tuesday, where talk about a little bit of everything. Last week I talked about UFOs for a little bit. And again, it wasn't, go back and watch it, because it wasn't about flying saucers and little green or gray or any other color men or creatures. It was just objects that I had seen and couldn't explain. So Tuesday's going to be live, and again, open topic. And Wednesday will be EAR night. And I'm going to wish you a GOOD night. I love you all. I sincerely do. I feel better after doing this. And I thank you all for watching. I thank you all for commenting. I thank you all for caring. Those of you that are supporters, thank you. Those that would like to support, it's Cash App is $ American Doofus, all one word, AMERICANDUFUS, Doofus, DUFUS. And I thank you. Please subscribe, like, share, comment, and I love you all, and wish you nothing but the absolute best. Wish you blessings, And I hope God keeps having mercy on the United States of America. And I hope he blesses each and every one of you. And I thank you again. Peace. I love you. Till next time, it's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. I'm your host, Barry Walsh. Good night.